Hello there. I know this is not my usual time, but we needed to talk, and I did blow off because of the holiday weekend. I didn't think I was going to stream this weekend. However, Canva has made me have to do this because Canva is making big changes to the pricing for Canva Teams. So let's talk tech about what Canva's doing and talk about a few alternatives in case you're going to need them. Let's get started. Okay, so yes, hi. How is everybody doing? This is not a stream that's making me happy, but I do need to let you know what is going on, because if you are using Canva Teams, which a lot of my clients are using, this is a conversation that we need to have now so that you have time to consider what it is that you're going to do. Now, I'm sure you're like, what is she talking about? And that's fine because it's a holiday weekend here in the US, so not everybody has necessarily looked at their emails. And I'm just realized like I need to make sure that I've got all of the things open. Hang on. Because this is a thing, and we're having a day, and it's not good news, and I'm sorry about that. But it is what it is. So the deal is that Canva is making a really dramatic change to Canva Teams. Now, understand that there's different levels of Canva, right? So for anybody who's new here, Canva has a free option, which is awesome and totally usable. This is not impacted by this. Nothing is impacted, but except for the people who are using Canva for Teams. So if you're using Canva Pro, or if you're using Canva Enterprise, I think this is going to be impacted there. It's a little fuzzy right now because this information is all just coming up. But basically, if you're using Teams, this is you're the people who are being impacted by this. And what's happening is really, really bad news. They are dramatically changing the pricing on this. So let me I'm getting ready. I'm going to try to show you the email to look for. So let me bring this up over here. I got stuff to show you today. All right, so. Okay, so here's the email that you want to look for. Okay, I should zoom in on this. Let's do that. Okay, so you're going to get a message, and it's going to say that the subject line is going to be upcoming changes to your Canva team subscription price. Okay, and then as always, the marketing team is trying to make it feel like it's a good thing, and they're reminding you of how long you've been around and using them and all this kind of good stuff, right? But the core information is that they are changing the pricing. So right now, I'm paying $120. It's $119 and change. So let me so this is the email that you're looking for, right? And it gets into all the stuff. So right now, and I have been paying $120, let's call it, for a while now. And as part of that, it includes the option of being able to invite. That's why that didn't work. Hang on. This is a day. So it includes the option of bringing in up to. I was never clear, to be honest, if it was 4 or 5. Really? Okay, here we go. But you can have up to 5 members of your team. So I'm guessing that's yourself and 4 people for most situations, right? And I could do that for that $120 rate, right? So that was the rate. The numbers going forward are $100 a person a year. That is a dramatic change, right? There's a big difference between paying $120 and having 5 people work on your team, as opposed to, oh, you have 5 people on your team, that'll be $500. Thank you very much. So this is big. This is going to have a big impact. Now, definitely we have noticed a trend where Canva has been focusing more on like getting the attention of enterprise users. Those people have money to burn, right? This is going to impact small business. Hello. Yes. Small business who has made Canva what they are today, which is why there's a lot of bitter coming out about this. It just is, right? We basically got them on the map, and now that they're on the map and they're, are doing the thing. And now understand, I do still love Canva, but I am going to have to rethink that because I don't see me being able to afford that, right? My little company is not making enough money to be throwing that away, that large of an amount. Now, as part of, hey, it's all great, it's all going to be fine, let's take a look at the email here. So the email says that they are raising the price, right? They do get to that pretty quickly. And that it's going to go to $100 per person with a minimum of 3 people. Right now, there's no minimum because it's just it's the $120 here in the US. Why does this? Because I had to take a screen cap of this, and so it's being very wonky. But let me try to get to the part here. Okay. So that means even if it's just you and one other person, you're going to have to pay for 3 people, which is not okay. Now they're like, oh, well, because, you've been around for a long time, and I have, they're going to give me a year of being able to have 2 people instead of 3 at $100 a head. So it's still more money, right? And that's only for a year. So all that's really doing is buying me a little more time, I guess, to reconsider or find a better option. But then after that, it's going to go up to the $100, per person, and you have to have 3 people. So the minimum payment going forward for Canva Teams is going to be $300 a year. I personally can't justify that to myself or my accountant. So I'm going to be reconsidering this, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but that is the core part of what is going on now. So as of January 2025, so this is now September 2024, so at least they're giving us some time to reevaluate and decide what we're going to want to do. But it's going to get more expensive very quickly, and so you need to decide whether or not this is something that is viable for you, right? Is this something that it's going to work for you? It's going to cover, it's going to make itself useful enough. Now, again, anybody who's been around here for a while knows that I am a fan of Canva, right? I find it very useful. It's been very successful for a lot of my clients. It does a lot of things. I've reached out to one client in particular who I know is a little, tight on funds these days. And I said to them, look, you need to cut me out of your Canva. It's totally fine. Now, that's going to be a bit of a problem because I tend to fix things for them, but, it's probably not worth that amount. So yeah, this is there's going to be a lot of reevaluations going on. And the way that it's working is, so it's a 3-person minimum going forward. So it's $300 a year. And then every person you want to add is another $100 a year. So if you want 5, or if you currently have the 5 and you want to keep them, that's $500 a year instead of the $120 a year. That's a lot of money to small business. Let's be completely frank about this. This is not an insignificant amount of money. This is a big change. Now, in the beginning, when this was all coming out, there were some conversations that, oh, this is just happening in the US, and I have checked around, and that's not the case. This is happening globally. The numbers change, right? So you're going to want to check to see in your region what the pricing is going to be. But the price is going up. So be aware of that, and it's time to go and take a good look at it. So what I'm guessing is, there's basically 3 paths here. One is people are going to suck it up and pay. 2 is people are going to say, okay, screw it. We'll work around not having the Teams features, and we're just going to go back to a Canva, Pro account, which won't have that. Now, there's still a level of sharing that you can do at that point, but it's not the full Teams experience, right? Which we'll talk about more in a minute. But I have a feeling like a lot of people who are going to want to stay with Canva are probably going to go that route. Frankly, that's probably the route I'm going to go, although I am going to test out a couple of other options to see if they might work better for me. When I talk about, well, actually, before I go there, for anybody who's new here, hi, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. Short version of the story is I do technology as my day gig. I work in software development, but it's also my hobby. So I'm constantly in this world. Not everybody, is. So my friend, family, neighbors, coworkers all tend to come to me when they have questions, when they're looking for recommendations, when they're not sure what to do, when they need help solving problems. And I know not everybody has somebody like me, so hello, that's why we're here. If you have any questions, comments, if you need help with something, you can reach out to me here. Okay, let's go back to the topic at hand here. So, the features that you get with Canva Pro, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's look at the pricing just so you can get a feel for what's going on. And then we can dive into this a little bit more. Okay, so get that out of the way. There we go. So you can come here to this will help you make your decision, right? Because you compare them, right? So if you're on the free account, you're good, no problems. If you're on the pro account, it's still the $120 a year for a person, but you don't get the Teams thing there, right? But you do get, templates and the photos and all that kind of stuff. And you do get online customer support. We'll get more into that in a minute, right? So now Teams is going to be $100 per person with a 3-person minimum. And then there's the enterprise, which you have to have the conversation and do the negotiation in order to get that. Now, the big difference for me is between Pro and Teams is that with Teams, you get a higher level of support. So you're still doing online support, through email and all that, but the turnaround is usually a couple of hours as opposed to possibly a couple of days for the lower level accounts. The other is you've got these administrative controls that you can do when you've got a team set up, right? So for permissions and approvals and all that kind of stuff, you can set up a brand kit with your font and your colors. You can set up brand templates so that the people that you bring onto your team can just go ahead and use those, and you don't have to worry about people not following your brand guidelines. There's also certifications and SOC compliance that you get at the Teams level that you don't get at the other levels. So there is a fair amount of security features, other features that are not available at the other levels, right? You can do single sign-on if you've got it. So yeah, there's a lot of benefit to having Teams. In a particular, couple of my clients, are using it and are finding it really helpful. They're turning things out faster. It's easier to collaborate because everybody's there. And like I said, the priority support, getting an hour and generally in a couple of hours is pretty awesome. So you can go and check this. Of course, all the links are in the description. But you can go ahead and check this out to help you decide what might be best for you. If you want more information on the changes, again, the link is in the description. But this gives you a little bit more information than what you got in the email. And it will help you understand some things. They do provide some helpful links. They do make some suggestions. The suggestions are all stay with us and just pay us yearly. But you can go ahead and check that out. I would also keep an eye on this particular page, because anything that they change, anything that they feel like they need to get into more detail about or revisit as part of their communications will happen on this page. So I do highly recommend that you go and you check that out. Now, that said, maybe you just flat out can't afford it, and that is completely reasonable, and you are not going to be alone there, right? There's going to be a lot of people who just flat out can't afford this. That's what's going to happen. There's already a lot of backlash out there. Like I mentioned, we individuals, we small businesses put them on the map. Now, granted, that was because they were giving us amazing tools and templates and all kinds of stuff, and they keep increasing it and giving us new options. And so there's a lot of good reasons to stay with Canva. Absolutely, hands down. But if you can't afford it, right, or if you're put out because they're basically, alienating us as the core users, then we're going to have a little conversation here about other options, right? Because I don't see them changing their minds about this, right? I think this is a done deal and this is going to happen. So I'm going to show you 3 options. I've been looking around for a couple of days now to see, because there's not a whole lot. Okay, and first of all, I'm going to start with just say no to Adobe, because Adobe is no better. In a lot of ways, they're worse. But if you want to go there, you go there. Like you've got to find what's going to work best for you. Okay. But I'm looking for non-Adobe options for me and for my clients. So let's take a look at a couple of things that I'm going to look more deeply into. But at this point, like after all the ones I went through, and I swear I looked at like over 100 different options, here are three that I'm going to say are worthy of, at this point, you going and checking if you are looking for alternatives. And these are not in any particular order. This is just random order. So there's PicMonkey, who is, that's a tool from Shutterstock, who do the photography, right? The stock photography. So they've got a couple of different options. Now, everybody does have a free trial, so that'll make it a lot easier for all of us who are thinking about alternatives to go and maybe find an alternative. So you can go and check that out. Their prices are not too bad. And it does have a lot of what you're used to seeing in Canva, right? So it's got, templates, it's got images, it's got all kinds of, predefined, sizes for the different things, so you don't have to go and look up every time. Oh, I need to do, a YouTube thing. I need to do an Instagram thing. All of the sizes are there for you. You can do all kinds of different things with it. You can edit your photos. It goes to all the social places that you would want to do. There's templates, there's stock footage, there's, stock video as well. So it's got a fair amount of stuff that is definitely worth checking out. You can do brand kits. Like I said, I have not done a deep dive on this. If I do decide to move away from Canva and don't just go back to Canva Pro, I will let you know what I pick, and I will show you why I pick it. But right now it's a coin toss of whether I'm just going to go down to Canva Pro or if I'm going to just bail and go someplace else. So that's one option. The next option is a tool called Stencil. So they have a free version. You can do up to 10 images a month, limited photos, limited icons. So it sort of mirrors what you're getting with the Canva option, right? The free, you have to pay if you want some of the higher level stuff. And then they have a, basic one for $9 a month if you're paying annually. And that gives you obviously a lot more photos, a lot more images, a lot more templates, all that kind of good stuff. And then there's an unlimited package for $12 a month on an annual plan. So again, worth taking a look at. There is a 7-day, free trial, so you can check that out. Here, let's go to landing page, right? So again, it's focused on the same type of thing, right? And it's focused on us as, bloggers, business owners, social media folks. And again, you've got a bunch of different templates, and you've got images that you can use and all that kind of good stuff. And you can do editing. So this to me also feels like another good one. It's got a lot of Google fonts. That comes in very handy. So you can go and check that out. It is browser based. So all of that. So a lot of it is very much the stuff that you're used to working with inside of Canva. This is just another thing, more details. So, you can do it from your phone, you can do it from all the things. So again, very flexible, very much like what you're used to seeing. Another one is called VisMe. Now, again, they have a free account version, right? And then they've got different levels, including one that specifically mentions working inside of a team. So that is something that you could take a look at. At this price, I don't know that it's any better than what you're going to be paying for Canva. Let's say, all right, so if we're going to go, let's do 5. So yeah, I don't know that you're going to be saving, well, 100. I have to read more about this. I don't know if this is 120 per member or if it's 120 a month to have this number of members. If it's 120 a month to have 5 members, that's still pretty pricey in my book. I don't think I would be able to afford that, but it's worth going and taking a look at it. It's another option. All of these also all have education plans and all that kind of stuff. Again, I have not seen any information specifically about education and who are using Teams, so we'll have to look into that. But again, you've got, a bunch of different templates. You can do documents, you can do graphics, you can do videos. So again, it has a lot of the same functionality. Whether or not it's as deep, the functionality stack, I don't know if it's as deep as what we're getting with Canva these days. I don't know if any of these are releasing updates as frequently as Canva is. But these are the options. These are the things that are out there. These are the ones that feel like the closest match with all the ones that I've gone through. So take a look at that. Think about it. But yeah, the short version of this is it's getting very, very expensive if you want to use Teams. So it feels like your options are, if it's really useful for you and it's working, then stick with it and you're good to go. You're just going to be paying more. Maybe giving up the Teams, that extra functionality, and just going back to Pro, where you can still do some sharing, right? You can invite people to review, what you're working on and all that, but it's not as, it doesn't offer you as much control as the business owner, the organization owner, all that. So yeah, you got to think about it, but that's another way to go. Or find something else and go with that. Right now, those are the 3 options I can offer you. I know it's not awesome, but I did want to raise the visibility of this. I didn't really expect, anybody's going to necessarily see this over the weekend here because, again, it's a holiday in the U.S., but I wanted to get this out there. I wanted to get the links out there to you so that come Tuesday, when everybody goes, what the hell, when they go through their emails, they would have some additional information available to them. So like I say, go and check the links. Depending on where you're watching this, the links are in the description for most of the places, but if you're on a platform where I can't put links directly, go to the website, and I will later tonight, I will put up a page that has all the links in it so that you can go and check that out. Really did? Sorry. Boy, my dog is unhappy at the moment. People are setting off fireworks. But so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put that out there so that you have that, and you can go check it out. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please don't forget, subscribe, like, and all that. It really does help the channel. It really does make a difference. If you would like to stay on top of things and get notified about what's coming out, you can join the mailing list, yourtechcoach.com/mailing list. I don't sell it at my list. You won't get anything from third parties. That's just a way for me to let you know what's coming up. Although I did not send this out because I literally just on the fly, I'm like, okay, I have to go talk about this. I need to get it out of my brain. But you can go and check that out, and that way you'll get up to date. And I really, let me know in the comments what your plan is, what your approach is going to be. If you find another option that we should be all looking at, please feel free to share that there. And let me know, I'd love to hear from you folks, what impact this is going to have on you, how you feel about it. I'm flipping between, I'm a little angry because it kind of feels like they're ignoring the fact that we got them to where they can get away with this. But on the other side, it's I really do rely on it. I really do use it a lot. So I'm going to have to keep thinking about this. Like I said, I am going to look at other options. Oh, I just realized I'm sorry. Pardon me, but I have to, I put something new in the doorway and now I have to give him a treat because he was a good boy and he came across here because he's been stressing out over it. Okay. I'm sorry. Just give me a second and we'll finish up. There we go. Good boy. Good boy came in here. Yay. For anybody who's curious, that's my boyo. And he just did a very brave thing, so I had to interrupt. My apologies. He's a cutie. Okay, so yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear from you what your plan is, how you're going to react to this, what your plan is to change things or not, because this is a not insignificant impact on not only our bottom line, but also on our workflows, right? And getting things done. And this is a big part of a lot of people's workflow. So there you go. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I really do appreciate it. You folks, you make this fun, and I really appreciate the interaction from everybody, because the best way for all of us to make our best possible decision is to get the information. And so getting it from a lot of different people and a lot of different points of view, super helpful. For those of you who power all the way to the end, I really appreciate you folks. You are the best. And so, as always, here's a few bonus tips for those of you who watch all the way to the end. The first is, if, like me, one of your options that you're considering is switching from Teams to Canva Pro, please know that there is a link in the description to give you some information and some things to think about if you're going to do this. So for example, like one of the things that clearly has been a problem, because they put it really big here in red, that when you remove somebody from your team, they're going to lose access to all their stuff. So you do want to give them a chance to like download or save any of their work, if that matters. And they do explain the process step by step, but I did want to let you know that information is available. And so I did put the link in the description for you. That's the only tip I've got for you right now. Hopefully, if more comes out, I will definitely follow up with this. But right now, this is where we're at. They're raising the price. They're raising it a lot. But you can stay if you're willing to give up some features, or you can pay, or you can go and find another one. That's pretty much the way it goes. And this is the unfortunate thing with any of the tools that we use, right? We have no control over when they're going to lose their minds. So, I mean, if they're gonna do this and they're going to create some fantastic new stuff just for Teams people, that would be great. But I'm not seeing any mention of any of that. So if nothing else, they're not making any promises on that score. But, obviously they've got big plans. Obviously they've been buying up other companies and that all costs money. Their teams have been getting bigger themselves. So there is all of that. But I did want to at least give everybody the heads up, particularly because this is not an insignificant thing, and not everybody's going to have the money to spend in January to do that. So, I would love to hear from you what your plan is going to be, and if you find another alternative that you feel is going to be a really good solution for people, please share it. The best thing we can do right now is all help each other out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you're all having a great holiday weekend, if you're here in the U.S. And we will talk again on Friday. I do the show every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You're more than welcome to come and hang out in the chat if you'd like. Or if not, if you're watching this on the replay, that's awesome too. You can also jump into the comments and share your thoughts. All right, everybody. I'm going to go reward the puppy for being a brave doggo. And we will see you next week. Bye. Sorry it wasn't better news.